And although collectively, all those slices contains tons of knowledge, skills, abilities. Not only that, it sounds crazy. It breaks down even further, and it sounds a little complicated and crazy. You can even have access to versions of you in the past and the present without you even consciously knowing it. So imagine that. If you can do that, you would have knowledge you can literally be like a time traveler, seeing things from the future because you worked on yourself. That's almost like having a gift. You just know things, you don't know why you know things. Like me having all kinds of weird things, like saying something that is totally not related, and then 10 seconds later having the person on TV say the same phrase, and it's two totally different topics, and having it happen numerous times over, or almost having like a sense of deja vu. Like you already knew the answer, you already saw that, but you don't know how you already know. That's a form of time traveling. Because literally, it's almost like being Doctor Who. Like in oh my god, my brain's not. Which movie was that? Where superhero movie where he can actually like go into time and like replay things and look at things and decide how he can do it differently. It's that. But not being aware that you're able to do that, having access to different timelines, different aspects of you that are existing that have actually different personalities, different jobs, different experiences. So that's a vast amount of knowledge that you have without even having to experiencing everything in this version of you. By just working on yourself, loving yourself, it gives you abilities and gifts, which is cool as shit when they explain that to me even more into detail. And they give me a lot of nicknames, and one of them was time traveler. And if you look at my other videos, I talk about that being a time traveler, but they broke it down even more. Not just being born in other timelines to influence reality. It goes even further than that, like what I described. Like sometimes I just know things I shouldn't know for no reason. Like going to school and not even actually going to school in high school. I was barely ever there. I was always ditching. And then teachers thinking I was cheating because I would show up for exam and make a better grade, if not a perfect grade, without going to fucking school. So they always thought I was cheating, and they would set me outside by myself. No electronics, no nothing. No one was allowed to talk to me because I did that so often. And I just thought I was a really good guesser. And I've discussed before, it even gets even crazier. That if you're, I guess, a time traveler, that you can actually shift timelines very easily. And that you can actually like nothing stays constant. You can vibrate into a higher timeline, and then you vibrate low, and then you go into a lower timeline, going back and forth. You can shift. And sometimes in these timelines, things aren't exactly the same. An example of this is Mandela effects. That people that do these timeline shifts frequently, they'll experience more Mandela effects. And there'll be different levels of Mandela effects depending on what you remember and which timeline you were jumping to. But the Mandela effects can affect numerous things, including, hold on, I have to switch my glasses because I have to read some of it to make sure I stay on track, don't miss stuff, because it gets a little complicated. But the Mandela effects not only affect like names of stuff. I discovered, for me, it actually affected birth charts, the astrology that I remember. For me, my mom, my daughter, like not just minor changes, like what was your rising, what was your sun sign, and what'll happen, like with my mom and my daughter, I had to remember my daughter was on the cusp of like, was it Leo and Virgo, and I knew my mom was Virgo. But my mom's born in November, which made her a Sagittarius. So that right there is a Mandela effect. What I remember was the old timeline. My mom was a Virgo, which would mean it makes, like I knew for sure, and I always talked about it, that my mom and my daughter were similar, and I was like, I don't like Virgos because we don't get along. And then I was never familiar until recently about Sagittarius, because I only paid attention to the sun sign, and then slowly the sun sign, the rising, and the moon. I never knew about the north node, the south node, and the houses and everything. And then learning like my north node is Sagittarius, so recently, and that's, to be a Sagittarius is where I'm supposed to be at. And then it dawned on me, my mom was born in November and she was a fucking Sagittarius when I remembered her as a Virgo. So it was impossible. So that was a Mandela effect. So jumping timelines can actually affect your birth chart. And then it affected my, from what I remember, my rising with the new timeline changed from Aries to Cancer. And they explained to me, by being able to jump timelines, and you keep shifting between timelines, your birth chart keeps changing. And they said that my birth chart switches between a minimum of 3 different birth charts, depending on my vibration. And they explained to me that it was done that way. Like, I don't know the exact time I was born. And they said it was done on purpose because I was supposed to be born I was born in Korea. I was supposed to be born in a military hospital. But because that day it was very full, I had to go into a regular public military hospital. So the documentation isn't totally exact. And they said it was done on purpose for my kind to protect you. So if someone wanted to use your birth chart to like hurt hurt you in any way or to predict stuff, to track you by not having an accurate date and time, and the being designed where you're a time traveler, so your timelines and your birth chart switch. So even if someone's doing magic against you on one specific timeline, it doesn't work like it's supposed to as a form of protection. So I'm jumping between numerous timelines and numerous birth charts. And then it gets even weirder for my kind. I just know for my kind, I don't know the extent for, like I said, there's different levels of people here for specific jobs. So certain people that are in a more targeted, dangerous group, they deal with the more dangerous stuff. They need more protections. More like what you would think as firewalls and stuff designed for the person. And then, like I say, on my body, I have not like splotches. I literally have like half of my arm. The top part is a different color. Like you can see the demarcation of the bottom part of my arm. It's another different color. In this demarcation, I have it different, like big sections on my chest, my legs, my back. I have at least 3 different like specific shades. Like if someone took 3 different people, different colors that were different shades and just like sewed them together. That's what I look like all over my body. And even like it's so distinct. Like when I was younger and like CPS was involved, they thought my parents had burned me. And they also said, they call it a chimera, where like different species could be put together, like a hybrid. And they said also that was a protection mechanism. That I not only have like this specific vessel, like I'm not one person, I'm multiple. And it was designed that way for this vessel to sustain a lot of attacks, like psychic, spiritual attacks. Because if they targeted, like, for some reason they target like one section of energy, which is one person, the other, say if I had 3, they attack one person, one energy, the other 2 are fine. And the other 2 can help sustain the one that's being attacked. And then like every person has a spiritual battle team. So not only do I have one specific battle team, I have numerous battle teams as extra protection. And that provides me more knowledge, more skills. Instead of being one person, I'm 3. Then along with that, with the spiritual battle teams, you got to think. Instead of having one battle team, say like you have, I just know like my kind on purpose, our battle teams are huge. Like thousands of souls. For each individual person. And they say it had to be that way because, as I say, if you're going to be dealing with more dangerous things, you're going to be attacked more, your life is at risk, that the army, like each person of my kind has a huge army. And it helps with all the attacks to survive it. And it involves more energy. It takes more energy. And then since having different vessels, different souls, the energy is very dynamic. So one type of energy can't take, like it would take one person out. With me, it would take like unimaginable amounts of different types of energies. And it was done on purpose. So it gives you more abilities, more gifts, access to more deities, gods, spirit animals, spirit guides. And then, like everybody is connected to more than one reality. There's different levels and dimensions that everybody deals with. And you can already see it, like it's documented in science, like the brain. I forgot how many layers. There's, I think, like at least 4 layers of the brain, the nerve connections. There's 4 layers, distinct layers that each one has its own part that it connects to. There's 4 layers, but only one layer actually deals with the 3D. So they're like, what other dimensions or reality are the other layers actually experiencing and connecting to that your conscious mind, the 3D mind, is not aware of? So that might be a part of you that actually connects to the spiritual energy realm. There's like 3 other different realms that you're connecting to, but you're not aware of. And then, like, they also said with your DNA, that the DNA, I forgot, it's like a large amount, I forgot the percentage. Like a big chunk of it, they call it junk DNA. They don't know what it's used for. It's the same thing, like the different connections, the layers in your brain. That junk DNA connects to another realm. So that's more knowledge and information. But the thing is, you have to do the inner work to activate those connections in your body. In the 3D, you have to do the inner work to turn those connections on, to have access to all that knowledge. When you're literally, like, your mind is broken, your spirit is broken, those connections are broken. So that's how, like, what people want gifts, that's how you get them. It's available for everybody. Then it goes even deeper. That, say like me, that I've done a lot of work, so I'm actually connected to different versions of myself, different realms. Those are different realities, different perceptions, different events, like possibilities that it's collecting in my mind, like a memory. And what's the most important thing for this is that can be a detriment to you when you don't have a spiritual battle team that matches, like your evolution, evolving and being connected to all these realities, realms, information. It's hard for your conscious mind to see what's real, not real, a memory, what applies, doesn't apply, to organize it. And when you don't have the battle team, your guys will tell you, no, that's not correct, to explain it and organize it for you. You can literally go crazy not knowing what's real and not real. What applies to your 3D, or maybe it's a probability, or maybe it's information sort of like tarot card reading. You're connecting to another realm, another energy. It's like that. Having all that knowledge and access and then not knowing where you're getting it and what it means can fuck you up in your head. It could almost feel like you're schizophrenic. Or even if you're connecting to other versions of yourself and the different personalities, not being able to separate them, there's no demarcation. So you have that chatter from another version of you. And because there's no separation, there's no no help by the spirit realm, by your ancestors, your guides, you can go insane and be very confused, have erratic behavior. So if someone, say, does energy harvesting, sampling of your frequency, or they copy that frequency because they think they can have your gifts or whatever, that's partly true. So if they tap into that frequency and they're experiencing time traveling, jumping in their memories, they're getting like past, present, future, or other versions, all the chatter, and they don't have the guides because they didn't do the inner work. It'll make these people go insane. It'll make them delusional. It'll make them hard to regulate their emotions, to distinct what's actually happening now, or it's just a memory of another timeline, another probability that hasn't even actually happened for this 3D. So they were explaining, like, the people who do that, energy harvesting, time, like whatever, whatever, quote unquote, steal someone's destiny, and jumping into that skill without having the training. You have to have training. Like my guides have talked to me since I was a little kid, training me how to see things a certain way, guiding me. It's more like having programming. And then that programming does affect the structures in your brain. So the programming is software, your brain's hardware. So someone sitting there trying to encompass this frequency, this energy that their body is not ready for, their mind is not ready for, what do you think it does to the mind and the body? It starts shattering. It starts breaking. They start losing their mind. They start behaving erratic. They start being triggered, and they don't know why. They go insane, and their body starts physically breaking down. They start getting sick because there's a big imbalance from the software, hardware, and what's actually going on in the 3D world, because they decided to tap into someone's frequency because they wanted that person's skills. And I guarantee you, these people who are doing that are going crazy. And then thinking someone's doing black magic on them, when from what they're doing, jumping into someone's lane that their body's not ready for, their spirit's not ready for, their mind's not ready for, it's shattering them. No one's hurting them but themselves, because they don't love themselves. They're jealous of someone else. They haven't done the inner work. They don't believe they're good enough for anything. They're in a state of lack. They're hurting themselves. God has already designed a perfect path for every single person, purpose, skills. God's not stupid. But sitting there and wanting what someone else has, it's not meant for you, it breaks you. Then you feel miserable, and you'll always be in a state of lack. No matter how much you steal or copy, you will never be happy. Never. Thinking that you were not good enough, that you need more. Um, And then, like, I'm just talking about different downloads. They started talking about, I know a lot of people don't believe in it, but the stuff that I've seen, experienced, like, I didn't believe in it. I just thought, stories, conspiracy theories. And, like, I didn't really, didn't believe, people, big groups of people actually practice magic, much less black magic. Believed in energy harvesting, destiny switching, sacrificing somebody so you can get fortune, fame, and gifts. I didn't believe any of that until, as you see recently, in the way I talk, and the things I talk about. And then they started talking, I wanted to understand, it drives me crazy. I'm like, why are these people doing this? I didn't understand why are they doing magic and not understanding the basic rules of magic that actually hurts you to the point you keep on doing it. It actually kills you. It breaks down your spiritual form, your physical form, because it's an incompatibility to life. Those are universal rules to show you how existence is and how to go with the flow. And then when you start you start breaking shit down. You start breaking your physical form and the energy that keeps you together, and your connection to source. When you start breaking shit, that's how doing negative stuff you're not supposed to, doing magic you're not supposed to, forcing energies together that don't go together, forcing a certain type of energy, like someone who's done their inner work, they evolve themselves, their frequency gets higher, so the energy is a higher quality. But then copying that energy when you're not ready for it, so your physical form, your nervous system is not ready for it. That shit makes your mental state sick, your physical state sick. You start breaking down. It's not karma. It's just basic universal law of magic. Energy. Everything's energy. If you look at everything as energy, everything affecting everything, it explains almost everything you look at. It's not hocus pocus. It's science, physics. And I was like, why are these people doing crazy shit, sacrificing people, not having respect for life, thinking that, you know what, I can go kill that person because they have a type of energy I want to manifest certain things. I don't want to do the inner work. I'll just take it from that person. And I'll sacrifice them. And that shit doesn't last forever. It's temporary. Because they don't have the mental state to maintain that frequency, so it just dies. Sort of like a drug. It wears off. And then you have to go do it again and again and again. And like I say, your soul is where it carries your gifts, your personalities, your abilities. If you sit there and sell your soul, you're soulless. So you run around like a zombie. You run around like a narcissist. You have to copy other people. You have to steal abilities and stuff from other people. And you have to keep on doing it. And then they told me, like, these people work with dark energies, negative energies, and, like, how, as you hear it, like with the quote-unquote Illuminati, the way you get in is, like, you do horrible shit that a normal person should not do because it sells pieces of your soul. It's like denying God and source. You sell pieces of your soul, so you become soulless. So it's a trap to keep you in that machine, thinking that you're getting something great, you're getting money. They target your weakness. What do you want? Fame? What do you want? Sex, drugs? What do you want? The hottest chicks? They're like, we'll give you that, but sell your soul. Do some fucked up shit. Sacrifice someone, kill someone, do shit you shouldn't do to yourself. Do the unthinkables. Sell your soul. So your soul is, you can't connect to life energy mana because you broke yourself. So now you have to energy harvest, soul harvest from your whole environment. So it keeps you in this machine. It's a trap. And not only do they do that, they use these people on larger platforms to do like huge group energy harvests without them knowing. You're taking something away from these people without their permission. You're taking away gifts, prosperity, because it's all energy. Taking away gifts, prosperity, and going against someone's will. It's karma. You receive karma. So these people get suckered to collect all the karma. And all these people, you've seen them, they're not happy. In the end, their life goes to shit. They're hooked on drugs. They're all fucking mental. They don't realize what they did broke them. And it makes it worse. They collect karma and they're fucking miserable. And the only way they can live, have energy, have any prosperity, any creativity, they have to keep on doing this because they broke themselves. It's a trap. And then they're the ones that do all the dirty work, collecting all the karma. While the higher level get all the energy and, hey, that person was a sucker who did it. Then they broke it down even more, explaining it to me like, I've told you, like, all my friends, the kids' dad, everybody was drug dealers. And it involved gangs. And the way it worked, they didn't do the dirty work. What they would do is get somebody that wanted to be part of the crew so bad that they're willing to do anything. Anything to be part of the crew. They're willing to beat people up, do illegal shit, risk of going to jail, like just scummy shit. Thinking that they were going to actually be part of the crew. In actuality, those people, like, it wasn't me, but those, like, I'll just say we, whatever. Those people are the people that we had the least amount of respect for. We thought, like, that they have such low self-esteem that they're willing to do anything, that they were an idiot. And they were never, ever going to be part of the main Tops crew. They're just a dirty pawn. You keep on letting them, or they keep on thinking they'll be part of the crew, and they'll keep on doing all the dirty work for you. And they thought more highly of people who respected themselves. The ones that weren't willing to do anything and everything just to be around the crew. And that's the same thing with these whatever elites or whatever. That all these whatever movie stars, people in the industry are doing all the dirty work. All the dirty work thinking like they were getting something that they could be part of the elite. No. Those are the people that those elites have the least amount of respect for because they don't have respect for themselves. By willing to do anything, be convinced of anything, to have so many like simple weaknesses that they could be manipulated so easy. And that they see it as they're so idiot that they can't see it. They can't see how miserable their life is because they did all that. And they keep on doing it. Keep on. And they actually have more respect for the people even below them. Because you don't just say this and that, and they are willing to sell anything. No, you actually have to trick them. You have to trick them. They're more work. So they have more respect for the ones below them than the ones that are doing all the dirty work. It's a trick. And it's a trap to keep you caught in that machine. Because once you sell your soul, you have to stay in that machine to survive. To actually physically live. To have prosperity. To have any creativity. So I'm like, they're the ones that are hurting themselves. And they're like, these people, that they're so broken that they've done so much damage to themselves, like I say with the shattering. They're so mentally irregulated. Their perception of reality is so distorted. That they don't see what we see. They're incapable of connecting the dots, realizing cause and effect. Like it's almost like they can't learn. That they've broken themselves so bad. And so like the negative stuff, that these people will continue on to doing the negative stuff to their own detriment. They described it as these people will consume themselves. They literally will take themselves out by sitting there doing negative things, collecting all that karma, energy harvesting, tapping into frequencies, causing them to themselves to shatter even more and more. And literally, they're almost, because a lot of this stuff, the karma is amplifying so bad, so fast, that it's almost like they're getting karma instantly. If they're directing negative thoughts, energies, spells at someone, it doesn't even reach that other person. It goes back to them. And these people think, oh, it's because they're doing black magic. No, you're doing it to yourself. They're literally, with their own magic, their own intentions, their own channeling or accessing entities and deities and gods and stuff, that they're like thinking, oh, I can do this and I'm all high mighty. No, dude, you're fucking killing yourself. You're committing suicide. You're putting yourself, you're building your own jar. You are consuming yourself. Because you're so mentally broken, you can't see what's the reality of what's actually going on. They can't learn. And then that's when you see that labeling in spirituality, they're reprobate. It's almost like being mentally delayed, having permanent brain damage. No matter what's presented in front of them, they don't see it. So these people right now, because the energy amping up and everybody manifesting what they're sitting in and what they think and what they're directing at other people, that they're getting it back to them instantly. It's not even reaching the other person. If it does, it's temporary and it's minor. It's small. So these people are putting themselves in a jar, and they showed me like the jar, it's almost like the walls of the jar because they're putting so much energy in doing it over and over and over and over again, trying to attack someone, that the walls are getting thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker till this person is almost like encased in a glass jar. They're consuming themselves. They're committing suicide. They're the ones hurting themselves. Universe doesn't have to do it. God doesn't have to do it. They're doing it because they're jealous of somebody else, or they want something from somebody else, or they're imposing their will, their boundaries on someone else, like deciding to sacrifice somebody else because they want prosperity in their life, or they want something someone else has. This is like, I just sit here in silence. And then I'm like, I ask the universe, God, my guides, I'm like, it makes me feel like I'm insane